The Holiday was a snare drum offered by Rogers beginning early in the Covington era. There is evidence of the Holiday existing in 1955, but experts have a suspicion that the official release was in 1954. Pages from this period's Grossman catalog lost to history leave us without evidence of a concrete date for this drum's premiere. The Holiday snare drum of this early era would have an eagle badge, L-flange hoops secured by claw fittings, a universal strainer, and flat-top bread and butter lugs, also known as coffin lugs, fastened to a 3-ply shell, which I believe was jasper by this time. The interior would most likely be black, clear, or painted white, depending on the finish, and have these early paper tags. By 1957, a Holiday would still have been outfitted with the eagle badge and coffin lugs, but now would have the newly released Tallboy triple flange hoops and also a compact strainer, which was an Olympic strainer manufactured by Premier. This drum will have the same jasper 3-ply shell. 1959 brought a new look with a new badge, a badge affectionately known as the Pirate Badge. By now, the drum would lose the coffin lugs and wear the 4947 large bread and butter lugs with a center-to-center 2 1/8 hole spacing and the returning Premier Olympic strainer. Still with tall hoops that would remain throughout the life of the Holiday snare drum, as well as the jasper shell, but since 1958 will have the well-known flat gray interior and the most commonly recognizable paper tag. 1960 brought once again a new look with a new badge. This one being the second script design, sometimes called the large script badge, because there was a much larger version of this script that would appear on floor toms, etc. Continued use of the 4947 lugs, tall hoops, 3-ply jasper shell with gray interior, and the Premier strainer all apply here. One minor difference is the newer version of the Premier strainer, which had the curved lever, as opposed to the straight lever of the earlier version. 1961 gave us the final phase of the Holiday snare drum and how it would remain until being replaced by the Power Tone around the transition years of 1963 and 64. Where the 3-ply jasper shell and tall hoops remain, a new look was ushered in with the final script badge of the Covington era and the badge most synonymous with the Rogers name. A few other differences are the new 3917 bread and butter lugs with a 1 5/8 inch hole spacing, and replacing the Premier strainer is Rogers' own permatension strainer that some know as clock face. The bearing edges throughout the life of the Holiday were rounded edges, although I have seen snare drums from the transition period labeled Holiday that did have the more sharp edges of a Power Tone, just when you think you've seen it all. The snare beds of the Holiday were quite inconsistent, somewhat drastically changing width and depth throughout the years the drum was offered. This is actually what makes these Holiday drums pretty unique with each specimen. It also adds to the charm, romance, and mystery involved in their manufacturing. Right around 1959 or 60, a metal shell Holiday was offered. This drum would be built out on a 7-line Gretsch-sourced shell as seen here. The Holiday snare drum was Rogers' flagship offering from 1955 all the way to the release of the Dynasonic in 1961. This is the evolution of a Holiday.